Hey Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot, and welcome to a deeper dive for when Venus enters Gemini here. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you guys to each and every one of you, because truly I am blown away to see how many people have come to the Honey Sea Star family, how many people are joining and supporting and sending so much love in all your comments. I'm sorry I'm behind as well on those. I'm catching up, but I wanted to get this reading out as well as Neptune in retrograde, to really fully dive into these pieces as well, because July for Virgos is amazing. But truly, each and every one of you make a difference. You make a girl feel so blessed. I love seeing how much you guys support each other, support this channel, and lift me up as well along the way. And truly, I love you back. So, like I was saying, Venus in Gemini, with a deeper dive, the biggest thing with this is that Venus is blessing us with our heart's desires when it stands in our 10th house. And Venus, truly, this is like the love language to our heart's desires, especially during the month of July. So Venus is going to be in Gemini from July 4th all the way to July 30th when it moves over into Cancer, which again, welcome to Cancer season early. I'm just saying, but this is incredible. It just gets better from here. So Venus, diving in a little bit deeper, this is our planet of love, beauty, harmony, pleasure, comfort, the softer, more charming joys of life, like luxury, material comforts, art, music, fashion, style, just saying, aesthetics, for our relationships, in our relationships, and particularly in our relationship with finances and values, including our self-worth. This truly is the planet of our heart's desires, and when it comes to love and relationships, our romantic connections, emotional compatibility, it helps us with fostering deeper connections, and it truly is our love language to our heart's desires. So this is the time for Virgos where, particularly when it stands in our 10th house, it stands to really speak with and help us speak, thank you, in our heart's desires, in our love language of what our heart's desires are when it comes to career, fame, reputation. And with Venus being in Gemini too, this is all about emphasizing communication, intellect, in the ways that are stimulating, witty, expressive, open to expansion, diverse perspectives, new ideas. This is also where, with it standing in Gemini, this is about expanding our viewpoints and exploring new cultures that we haven't yet experienced yet. And this is truly Gemini's biggest gift for us, and Gemini's biggest gift just as a zodiac sign as well, which, remember, Gemini is our sister sign in Mercury. Mercury right now is in Leo, standing in our 12th house of spirituality, our connection to the divine, our connection to our intuition, as well as our hidden talents. Uncovering our psychic abilities, things that are so inherent to us that we've always known, but we haven't necessarily explored in a way that lets us stand in our true power that we were born with, that we were meant to carry through and explore and master in this life as well. And right away, this is Gemini's biggest gift for us. It's giving us the grace of adapting, embracing, flowing in very open creative flow and in acceptance for all things and in new beginnings as we step into our heart's desire when it comes to career, fame, reputation, and it helps us with articulating our love language with manifesting our heart's desires. And with the Ace of Swords right away, this is just crazy awesome. I love it. So this is where we are stepping into a new challenge, and we've got the skills, we've got the tools, we've got the universe helping us, we've got Venus blessing us. This is where we're really stepping into a leadership position in ways that allow us to really step into that creative flow, embrace our hidden talents, showcase our skills, but do it in a way where it's just graceful, especially with Mercury in our 12th house. In Leo, this is where we're comfortable in our own skin and our ideas are gold. This is a new challenge, but it leads to victory when it comes to manifesting and creating, stepping into that leadership role of your dream career, your dream life path as it stands for how you come into your leadership in your life. This is victory. This is also too where we're good at making decisions, and we'll get into that. But this is, again, it speaks to having the courage, having the support of stepping into a leadership role with big shoes to fill with grace. And you've got this. This is also leading you to prosperity. This is also standing with wise decisions because you're open in your mind. You're deep intellectual at this time. And it's standing in the personal power, right? Now, sign-wise, we've got Capricorn. That's about taking practical steps towards your manifestations, towards your dream job. With Aquarian energy, this is all about holding that vision. What is your dream job that you've always wanted ever since you were a child? And, even if that includes that you want to be an astronaut, you want to be a firefighter, and then we've been culturally kind of preconditioned to go towards something that's more safe. This is where instead it's encouraging us. Venus in Gemini in our 10th house, all of July is encouraging us to embrace that Piscean energy and go after our dreams. With the one, this is all about beginnings. Again, standing in your personal power, tapping into that unlimited potential, tapping into your hidden potentials as well that maybe you haven't realized or recognized yet that truly are your gifts. And it's because they just come so easily to you. You didn't realize that it sets you apart from the crowd, right? Again, this speaks to Mercury's energy with new ideas. And again, your ideas are gold right now. But it's positivity. Remember, we've got Jupiter blessing us all year as well. And it stands in our creativity when it comes to being guided and connected with the divine. This is also all about air energy, right? Manifesting with your heart as light as a feather. This is a new challenge, but this is where you're taking action. And this is what Venus in Gemini is all about. Like I say, diverse perspectives, new ideas, collaboration, creative flow, and working with this to step into the true potential of your love language when it comes to your heart's desires. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Share your thoughts on what you're expressing, what you're going after. Oh my gosh, and at the bottom of the deck, this is just crazy. We've got the Ace of Wands right on the bottom of the deck as well. Taking action, beginning, standing in your power. You're at the early stage, but it's new ideas full of positivity that keep you grounded in your root chakra, in your foundations, with building that foundation while you're connected from head to toe, is how I would put it, with the divine, with your crown, and with your root chakra. So with the Ace of Wands, this is also about opportunities coming in, standing in your personal strength, standing in your vitality as well, especially with that sun in Cancer right now, which also, too, spoiler alert as well, as we move into Leo, it only gets better towards the end of the month. If you haven't seen the monthly video, or the monthly reading, check that out as well, because like I say, this month is so monumental for Virgos. There's big things one after another transit-wise in astrology and in the atmosphere, but this is leading with new ventures, with Venus taking charge in Gemini in our 10th house towards personal career development. This is also, too, taking new action. And again, it's with inspiration, it's with passion, it's with vitality, it's with the heart leading the way, igniting the fire with that Leo basically lifting up Cancer, but also staying grounded in that Virgoan energy, what we're born to do, and as we're born to stand. And again, we've got that fire energy right below that. At the bottom of the deck too, what I did see, oh my gosh, and right afterwards, we've got, okay, I'm loving this. I promise I'll stop at the bottom of the deck, but this is where whatever hasn't served you, you're letting those foundations that truly weren't built on stable ground fall. This is also with being blessed with Mars, which, remember, Mars is in Virgo. It's in our first house. That's basically the house of identity, individuality, fighting for yourself, fighting for your relationships, fighting for what you stand for, what you believe in. And if you haven't seen the reading for this weekend, check that one out as well, because it basically goes into all the transits. This weekend is like, get ready for the blessings. Spirit, the universe, your ancestors, this channel, your family, the Honey Sea Star family, your tribe, is also here supporting you, lifting you up, encouraging you to get out there, go after what truly calls to the heart. And also, too, let Epiphanies bring down towers that have only stagnated you and pulled you away from your true path. And like I say, if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. Share your thoughts, like, share, subscribe. Because with Venus and Gemini in our 10th house, expect to be blessed in your professional life all through July. And expect your career moves, your personal development when it comes to your career path, your dream job, how you manifest this. Expect it to come through and foster in ways that are opportunities like promotions, raises, recognition, reward. And also too, especially when it comes to fostering financial benefits with Saturn's help. So this may also involve taking on a new role, taking a completely different career path than you currently have. Remember, with like even home remodels, demo is always part of the process, right? You've got to take things down and let them fall before you're able to truly build them up to the creations that are truly meant for you and to the vision that you have in your true life's purpose through the soul's eyes. So this is the time as well where leadership roles are manifesting for you. Opportunities and doors are opening for you with Venus and Gemini in our 10th house that very much are interactive. They involve public speaking, creative projects, curiosity and problem solving, collaboration, and you're standing at the front head of the table in your leadership, leading the charge. This is where you're exchanging ideas in very healthy ways, and with your enhanced clarity and persuasive communication and being blessed with Venus at this time, when it comes to that with Gemini as well, you really are able to make wise decisions and make wise decisions with making abilities come into fruition. That's why you're built for this time in being exalted. That's what I'm trying to say. But this is also where with the Wheel of Fortune karma, again, that speaks to Saturn. This is a turning point. This is your justice, your karmic justice, and it's a turn for the better. This is your destiny calling during this time, and it's good fortunes and cycles that are turning the wheel in your fortune, in your favor. And again, this is where Jupiter is blessing you. Remember, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer right now as well. Hopes, wishes, dreams. This is the time, especially with Venus, and really truly all throughout July, it's like this huge, expect to be in a very different place at the end of July than you are at the start. And it starts with your manifestations in your 10th house when it comes to career, fame, reputation. Again, this is recognition, reward, praise, positive feedback, promotions, even a raise. But this is where you're stepping into a place that was meant for you, that you've been called to, and that's needed from you during this time. And it's because you've got those leadership qualities when it comes to big shoes to fill. And with 10, this is all about the pinnacle of success, right? This is the beginning and the ending, right? Growth. And it's tapping into that Leo and Mercury position with the third eye, with your intuition. You have guides leading the way, supporting you every step of the way during this time. And so, like I say, or like I was saying before, Saturn and Neptune are currently in our 8th house. They are also both in Aries. So Saturn is basically, our 8th house is transformation. Saturn is building wealth, creating structure, karma, the discipline to go after what's truly yours, what truly calls to the heart. Neptune is our dreams. Both are in Aries, which is action, taking action towards your dreams. And again, we've got Jupiter in Cancer, hopes, wishes, dreams. I hope you see where this is going. I mean, it's just incredible. And then too, like I say, with Venus, it's placing you in a position of leadership. And with Mercury and Leo in our 12th house, your ideas, I'll say it again, are gold. And if you haven't seen that video as well, check that out, because I go into a deeper dive here with Mercury and Leo as well. But this is where you're connected with the divine. You're connected with your spirituality. You're connected with your intuition. And you're being seen. You're being recognized for your mystic and your hidden talents. You are also very intuitive at this time with reading people, seeing people's intents, seeing people's motives when it comes to collaborations. And with Gemini, With Venus, this is where it's like collaborate smartly is the biggest thing. So the first thing that came out was the Queen of Pentacles and 50-50, right? So in the past, if you've been dealing with or encountering partnerships that truly aren't reciprocal, right? That have a bit of toxicity to them, where there's power dynamics, there's power struggles, or disingenuous intents, right? This is where your intuition, the ability to read people as well as be comfortable in your own skin, gives you a lot of grace with basically naturally being able to see the true colors of people and the true colors of their intents. And so this is also a point of leadership that Venus is going to be helping you with, particularly in your 10th house as well. So if people are choosing to take a more disingenuous role, let's just go with that, and get one over on you in particular, this is a time where you're stepping up and they're very quickly realizing that the challenge on getting one over on you is very difficult, but it's also one that will be very quickly regretted. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because again, with the Queen of Pentacles, Sagittarian energy speaks to the truth, right? You're seeing the truth for what it is, no foggy goggles, especially when it comes to the collaborations, the partnerships, the love language that you are currently utilizing in your career house, in your fame, in your reputation, in how you connect with others, and in how you utilize your love language when it comes to manifesting your heart's desires. So again, Venus is all about love, beauty, harmony, comforts, music, art, fashion, style, aesthetics, relationships, not only with values and finances, but in our connections, in our emotional compatibility, in the deeper connections of like minds and like goals. This is where we're able to also too utilize those collaborations, utilize those skills, that grace with adaptation and expressing new ideas, problem solving with creativity and curiosity that allows us to take practical steps in those realms and still remain rooted in building a strong foundation where if there was disingenuous partners before, that's why that tower is here. We're letting those fall to the wayside, right? But with Queen of Pentacles on the upright, this is about utilizing your resources. Again, it speaks to Mars's energy with the go-getter energy here as well. But it's also standing, being accountable and responsible when it comes to managing wealth, when it comes to charitability, or how you manage business, how you set that up and generate win-win solutions that generate prosperity. And again, prosperity is not only just about money, right? Money energy is basically one, it's only one, what am I looking for? Measure. There we go. I don't know why I blanked that out. But part of prosperity is who you work with. The successes and the mission of what makes you tick, why you're doing what you're doing, why you're building what you're building, what you're called to. And this is where you're truly generating those prosperity aspects, those prosperity measures through the soul's eyes, as opposed to just the profitability of the bottom line, which is kind of that preconditioned rule where we've let money rule us rather than treat it what it's meant to be, which is truly an energy that defines our values. And again, remember, Pluto is in retrograde during this time. So Pluto is helping us as well with defining success. That's where the true Queen of Pentacles energy in the upright really stands when it comes to building our material pleasures, our money material, our wealth, our prosperity, and our career, as it's rooted in a strong foundation. Now on the other side as well, this is about the South Node, right? Basically being torn with standing in a leadership role that you don't feel prepared for, that you don't feel that you're worthy of, feeling unconfident, feeling over-dependence on others, especially when there's worries about letting money control your motives, control your moves, and your movements, I should say too, with financial instabilities, or looking at the responsibilities when it comes to our 8th house, because our 8th house, like I say too, is transformation, building wealth, but it also looks at the idea of debt. This is where you're utilizing Gemini's energy, and Venus is helping you during this time to really bless your professional life, bless your career, manifest with making financial benefits rather than looking at what we're preconditioned to, where we're managing business in the way of the idea that you've got to spend money to make money. Yes, that's true to a certain degree, but what I would encourage is look at that in the way of replacing the word money with energy. Not all energy has to be defined by money, and it certainly isn't defined as just money. But when we rule it in that way, where we look at our bottom line is the only thing that determines our movements, that's when we get into trouble. That's where it causes a suffocating aspect. And we grab onto things and we actually block our manifestations altogether, but we become ruled as opposed to stepping in a place of sovereignty in our leadership. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because this can lead to a lack of taking initiative, right? Because it fosters those lower vibrational energies like fear or like instability, worry, right? This is where love can be suffocating. And instead, with Venus in Gemini, especially in our 10th house, it's the love language of our true heart's desires through the soul's eyes, and truly recognizing money manifestation as abundance manifestation, as abundance energy, and it's just one measure when it comes to success. Now, too, as well, what this really is speaking to is basically water with our creative flow and keeping our toes 10 toes down, grounded with our root chakra with that earth energy. And then as well, we also have the Six of Wands. So this is the time really to look at those South Node aspects, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Because in a lot of ways, so I'm also a musician. I haven't gotten up on stage for a while, but I suppose in this way, in this form, I'm on stage just about every day for you guys and with you guys with the Honey Sea Star, right? So when I first started looking at different ways of like public speaking, especially with music as well, it's very common to feel that fear before you walk on stage, before you've got lots of pairs of eyes basically staring at you when you're the key focus, right? The biggest thing, though, when I first was going on stage and I started to feel that stage fright or that anxiety, is to really recognize and distinguish the difference of fear versus excitement, because they can easily be confused in that time when energies are high, in that time when basically there's a lot going on in the atmosphere and all eyes are on you. This is where feeling the fear and doing it anyway, it's amazing when you take that first step, and that's literally all it takes. All of the fear tends to melt away when you're in the correct leadership place, the position for you. And it melts away to a point where it's just excitement in the most positive, prolific, and abundant kind of way that I struggle with articulating other than take that first step and do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Feel that solar plexus. Feel Venus encouraging you. Feel Jupiter supporting you. Feel Saturn, Mars, and Neptune fostering and holding you up at this time with that solar plexus energy, because this is truly about standing in your confidence, knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, why you're here, and what you're meant to do. And that is what Venus and Gemini's energy is all about. It's the love language to articulate our heart's desire, especially when it comes to our true career path, our dream career path. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because what Spirit is wanting you to know is with the Six of Wands, this is all about your success. Victory is yours. Advancement in career is meant for you. This is also where you're being seen with respect, validation. This is not the end either. This is just the beginning. This is significant progress towards your true dream goals. This is also good news coming in, achievements coming in. But victory, success is meant for you. You've got Jupiter kissing you right now. You've got Mercury and Leo here as well, blessing you with gold ideas. This is where you're needed. And with Gemini's articulation, with Gemini's grace, when it comes to problem solving and curiosity about things that you haven't explored or experienced yet, that's where the fire is flowing and igniting for you and within you. And it's bringing balance to what you've always wanted to do, especially with what you're building in your heart's calling through your love language. This is bringing harmony, integration, and also, too, in your manifestations, it's aligning your emotions, because that's truly the vibration, right? that you're sending out to the universe so that the universe can in turn mirror it back to you. This is also bringing harmony to opposites through reciprocity, balanced relationships, right? Deeper connections, emotional compatibility, and also too romantic connections as well when it comes to love and relationships. But in the house of partnerships, when it comes to your career, fame, reputation, you're meeting the right people and you're coming together and lifting each other up in your career because you're finding these win-win solutions basically, and you're focused on the problem solving as opposed to the problems and being weighed down with that stagnancy. And if that resonates, by all means put a heart in the comments below, share your thoughts, because there's also a couple of key dates to pay attention to this month when it comes to Gemini. So first one being first one, and I've talked about it in the monthly read, I've talked about it in the weekend read here as well, but it holds significance for us when it comes to Venus, and that's July 4th. So Venus is moving into Gemini, no big surprise, we've covered that, right? But it also happens to be conjunct with Uranus, thank you, which is currently in Taurus and in our 9th house. Our 9th house is expansion, exploration, breaking free of rigid structures related to values, possessions, security, particularly when it's married in conjunction like this with Venus in our 10th house in Gemini, career, fame, reputation. This is going after your dream job. So whatever's held you back, like I say, the biggest thing that it comes to mind is like when we were young and we were asked, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And so many kids were able to dream with their hearts as light as a feather, right? That's part of being a child, is you have that ability to play in the universe of love. And you have the ability to play in the universe of love without fear. And so that's where you get a bunch of wonderful, like, aspirations that are as big as the universe, right? I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a magician. I want to be a dancer. I want to be a musician. This is where through life, as we go through school, as we go into our adulthood and we're bogged down with things like debt, responsibility when it comes to, again, our relationship with money, and thinking and letting that money is basically not an energy of abundance, but instead it's an end result that really makes the world go around. That's when we tend to put those dreams aside and we start going for the South Node safer, more comfortable routes that and I'm not trying to, I also have studied finance as well, so I'm not trying to poo-poo finance as well, or by any means, because money management is very important in our lives. However, but that's when we start going to things like, rather than being a dancer or a musician or an artist, we start going to trying to pursue an accounting career, This is where instead, this is the time when Venus and Uranus is breaking that all down, basically. We're looking at defining success with Pluto in retrograde. We're breaking free of rigid structures that have told us you'll never be successful, and instead we're finding ways. We're paving new ways by thinking outside the box, by problem solving, by looking at money management in a different way, particularly when it comes to business. How we invest our money, how we make passive income, for instance, as well. This is where, I want to say these came out first, but either way, this is where you may struggle, or if you have been struggling with letting go, you're finding that with this conjunction, you've got the Midas touch when it comes to the Four of Coins. This is about being savvy with your financial management, as well as paving routes in pragmatic ways, finding different ways to make passive income, finding ways to invest and make wise decisions when it comes to defining your success, your career path that leads you to financial success. And it's also about utilizing your resources wisely, right? Problem solving, that going into debt, wanting more, and learning how to live in a debt-based society isn't necessarily the answer when it comes to financial sovereignty. Can be for some, but you got to do it in a right way. And two, it also too, I don't know how to put this, but for me, I've always gone to the way of being debt-free rather than trying to manage my profitability off of debt. The reasoning why is because when you look at the meaning of debt, is when you're leveraging that, you don't truly have sovereignty. Someone else can always take it away from you in a heartbeat. That's what we've been culturally preconditioned to the only way. This is finding your way, not just a way, but your way. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, like, share, subscribe, share your thoughts, because this is all about gaining new skills and new enlightenment. And especially, like I say, with this conjunction with Uranus. Uranus is our breakthrough planet. It shakes things up. It brings expansion in ways that bring on unexpected breakthroughs, especially when it comes to breaking down how we define value, how we've been preconditioned to define value versus what value is truly for us in our sovereignty, what we're meant to do. This is where you're gaining new knowledge and new skills. You're learning what you don't know. That comes with the collaboration aspect as well. Venus is helping us with collaborating smartly with Gemini. It's also moving to a place of mastery when it comes to standing in the place of the student and also coming to the table in your leadership. This is asking you, what kind of a leader do I want to be? And it's through that dedication, when it comes to really articulating with love language your heart's desires all through this month. And it starts with July 4th with the 3 of coins. And isn't this crazy? We've got the 4 of coins, then we've got the 3 of coins. Now we also have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So again, if you're thinking about reckless behavior, impulsivity, being ruled by negative emotions, fear, anger when it comes to your manifestations. Remember, what you think about, you bring about, right? Those preconditions are going to be a challenge. That's what this conjunction is here to help with on the 4th. And it only gets better from here. So on the 6th, and like I say, check out the weekend reading if you haven't seen it. I've gone into like all the transit aspects, but focusing on Venus. Venus happens to be sextile on the 6th with Saturn and with Neptune. Now keep in mind as well, stay tuned, because I'm also going to do a Neptune in retrograde reading as well. But Neptune and Saturn are in Aries in our 8th house of transformation when it comes to shared resources, debt, building legacy. This is a wonderful time where you're receiving recognition for the breakthroughs, for the career advancement, the love language in manifesting your heart's desires in your career path, in stepping into your place of leadership. This is also a time where it leverages it and us in gains in popularity, in positive feedback. You're being seen for the work that you do, and you're also being rewarded for it. And so this is a time particularly where if you are online, if you have some kind of marketing aspect when it comes to where you're being seen in the physical or with media or with even social media, this is a time where basically Saturn is exalting you. You're being recognized and things are moving fast. Expect things to move fast, with fast progress, quick growth in July, and also with excitement. This is where you're shedding light, like I say, on golden ideas that bring revolutionary change and cause evolutionary positive flow. Now again, with Neptune in retrograde, this also is helpful. So Neptune in retrograde, spoiler alert basically, but Neptune is all about dreams and actions, right? When it's in retrograde, it's giving that a reflection or a point of reflection and helping us realign our soul's eyes to our true dream life. And so where Venus is focusing on our career, Neptune is focusing on a lot bigger things on this. And particularly when you're looking at channeling that energy towards your career. This is where Neptune in retrograde on the 6th with this sextile, it helps with bringing clarity in your career visions and in your aspirations. This is also a time where, like I say, with the 8th house, it's about transformation, and particularly when it's focused on debt, shared resources, how you invest, how you make money, particularly with a focus on media, passive income, how you develop a business, being an entrepreneur, collaborating with partnerships in that way too. New avenues come to light with Mercury's help and with Neptune's help with the sextiles on the 6th. So be prepared. This is a time where it's like, get ready to receive. Blessings are coming in the most prolific ways that I can't even describe to you, because it's going to be different for each and every one of us. Share your thoughts, share your story, and what you encounter this weekend, because it is truly a beautiful time. And if you're like me right now, you've got goosebumps, I'm just saying. But this is where you're standing with new opportunities coming in as the King of Pentacles energy. This is achieving success of long-term goals, success, wealth, prosperity, dedication that leads you to the stability that truly is meant for you, and that debt-based society is taking that place of comfort with the safe jobs, right? Don't offer you. They were never meant to, because it wasn't in your soul's purpose. It wasn't what you were designed to do either. This is also where you're standing with the Knight of Cups. That's speaking the love language of your heart's desires, following your heart when it comes to your career, making career moves with fame, reputation, stepping into a place of leadership with the heart leading the way. This is a creative spark as well that's motivating you and driving you in your inspiration and in your creativity. Now, side tangent with the Knight of Cups as well has a lot to do with partnerships when it comes to flirtations, romance. Same thing with Venus and Gemini, I'm just saying, but this is where good news is meant for you, and it's coming in, especially with the harmony of this sextile. Now, it gets better, like I say, through the whole month of July. We're just getting started. So on the 21st, Venus, or I should say around the 21st, but really key dates to pay attention to is a window from the 21st all the way to the 23rd. And we'll break it down. So on the 21st, Venus also squares off with our nodes of destiny. And remember, our north node is our path forward to our highest timeline. Our south node is our karmic contracts, our comfort zones, familiar patterns. This is where Venus is standing in the middle. Our heart's desire, our love language is standing in the middle of our north node and our south node. And when this happens, it opens up a period of important career-related choices. Now remember as well, the sun is entering Leo in our 12th house on the 22nd. We enter Leo season, and this is where, with Mercury in Leo, we're building the stage. Now the sun, as it enters Leo, it's opening that curtain for us. Also, too, in our 12th house, it's enhancing our intuition, our sensitivity. It's presenting us on stage to showcase and to show off our talents. And this is truly where, I mean, it's like the whole month of July is beginnings, but this is truly like a prolific beginning where, like I say, if where you start in the beginning of July, you may find that you're in a completely different space at the end of July. And the 22nd is a huge day for this when it comes to the sun changing signs and moving from Cancer into Leo. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because we're not done yet. On the 23rd, and I'm sorry to be that gal, I'm just a nerd. But either way, on the 23rd, Venus, again, Gemini, 10th house, squares with Mars in Virgo. And again, Mars is in our first house, self, identity, individuality, standing in our sovereignty, standing up for the self, standing up for our relationships and what we stand for. And when it's square with Venus in Gemini in our 10th house like this, it brings balance in our, or between our curiosity and our practical action, especially when it comes to going after our long-term goals, building our legacy, following our aspirations, and committing to our aspirations full-heartedly. And this is truly where it's another day where a new path is presenting itself. It's a new opportunity. It's a desire for change. It's the heart's desire that's leading the way. But it's also involving options. But as you can see, he's holding the world, his world, in his hands. And as you can see as well, there's a horizon behind him of clear water. The path is clear from here. This is where you're not spoiled for choice by any means. You've got options, right? And it may involve travel, but this is all about a new path, a new door that brings on epiphanies of change, of blessings of change. So pay attention, because between the 21st and the 23rd, this is a huge moment within this, within this energy where it's like I say, if you start out at the beginning of the month thinking one way, you may find that you're in a completely different space at the end of the month, and it's all opening up, setting you up for blessings and your abundance. Your heart's desire, starting with Venus, helping you articulate that true love language through the soul's eyes. And if that resonates, like I say, put a heart in the comments below, like, share, subscribe, so that we can get this message out to as many Virgos as we can. Because as we close out this month, we're not done yet, right? So another key date to pay attention to is when Venus moves from Gemini in our 10th house to Cancer in our 11th house. Our 11th house is hopes, wishes, dreams, support systems, networks. And again, remember, Jupiter is blessing us for this whole next year. This summer is a precursor and a preview of what our life is going to look like come February of 2026, because we're in the year of 9 right now with 2025. 2026 is the year of 10. This is a big year, and spoiler alert, so is 2027. But it all starts with that 11th house, our hopes, our wishes, our dreams, who we take along in our journey when it comes to our support systems. And so as Gemini has given us focus with Venus in our 10th house of career, the 30th is where we then also expand that even more in a prolific way when it comes to home, family, our dream life, our heart's desires, as they all entangle together. There's support coming in for you, opportunities coming in for you from high places and high positions, and they're coming in to help. Now, the Queen of Swords kind of came out 50-50 here, so let's talk about it. So one thing, I'll start with the negative first, but on the one side of things, this is about basically where judgment is clouded by emotions. There's manipulation, lack of rationality. This is also too where you're looking at the scorpionic energy really too. And check out the weekend reading. Like I say, there is a Scorpio moon moving from, or the moon's going to be moving from Scorpio to Sagittarius. So, there's aspects of where you could be pulled into reevaluating or really looking at the past. And instead of looking at the past as rejection is redirection, and that truly the universe is bringing you much more than the ego can truly imagine, it can pull you back in a way where it links you and entangles you to trauma through spite, those negative emotions with basically not having emotional regulation, right? This is where it's important to hold your center, hold your home, especially if you've been traumatized by support systems not truly lifting you up in the past. Now, on the other side, with the Queen of Swords, this is about standing in your honesty, standing in your truth, being rational when it comes to looking at things objectively, as well as looking at criticism as an opportunity for growth in a realistic way. Now, when she comes out 50-50 like this, especially with the red clover, this is about utilizing those pieces that you perceive as weaknesses, especially with the retrogrades going on this month, and looking at them with realigning you towards wisdom, utilizing those pieces that were maybe perceived as weaknesses and realizing that they truly are your wisdom, they're your strength. And again, like I say, through this whole time, and we'll get into it, stay tuned for the retrograde reading for Neptune. But Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, and Mercury will all be going retrograde at some point in July. And towards the end of the month, when Venus enters Cancer in our 11th house, it realigns us with the inner warrior within us, with the leader that we want to be, with the dream life that we want to hold, that we want to walk towards, and also, too, to marry and be grateful for the journey that we've had, because it's led us to this point that has aligned us to our true soul's purpose and our true soul's calling, the love language of our true heart's desires. And like I say, it starts with Venus in Gemini. Now, I just want to get a few more cards here. Oh my gosh, and at the bottom of the deck, okay, I'll stop. Wow, I've got goosebumps again. Okay, I'm sorry to be that girl, but this is where you're connecting with your true calling and with your crown. Remember, your intuition is leading the way. Your connection with Leo, with Mercury being in Leo in our 12th house, So connecting with the divine, your spiritual path, your true spiritual leadership qualities is allowing you to step into the Fool's shoes and truly pursue life and allow yourself to live a more inspired life without limitations. This is also about stepping into the wise part of who you are and acknowledging your existence, as well as feeling complete, whole in all parts of yourself. This is about constantly expanding your awareness so that you can better serve yourself and serve others. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below, because this is truly the month of new beginnings. It's the month of the century. Check out the monthly reading if you haven't seen it yet. But this is where your eyes, your soul, your heart is filled with wonder, optimism, adventure, and also innocence to exploring the unknown with the Fool. This is also what's leading you to your 10 of Pentacles. I just can't say this enough, and I've got goosebumps again. My ears are ringing, just saying. But this is where your angels are cheering you on. Your hard work will be rewarded. Stability is meant for you. Financial gain, community, your soul tribe, your family, including your family here on the Honey Sea Star. But this is your success, your true masterpiece that is meant for you. And it all starts with Venus and Gemini in your 10th house, and it starts with manifesting your true career when it comes to your heart's desires. And again, this is also involving fame. This is also involving your reputation, stepping into a place of leadership when it comes to collaborating, problem solving. And it fosters its way through promotions, raise, recognition, reward, and manifests in a way of financial abundance, financial benefits. And if that resonates, by all means, put a heart in the comments below. I'm just saying, because we're ending this reading with the Magician. This is about utilizing the skills that you may have overlooked or haven't necessarily thought of as a skill within you, and the resources surrounding you. It's leaping towards those goals, that dream life masterpiece, your heart's desires, with focus, with expertise, knowing your direction, tapping in, and more importantly, lifting your potential through value, in your value, standing in your personal power. But with the Magician, it's utilizing all of the elements, right? As you can see, he's got all the elements on the table, and he's got the infinity that is helping him create abundance in very much a reciprocity kind of way when it comes to managing and really matching the vibration. Because again, manifestation, check that video out if you haven't seen it as well. But I basically break down manifestation into 7 steps. Part of it is really that like attracts like. It's about 3 key components, right? You're really tapping into 3 key laws, universal laws is what I mean. But it really breaks down in simplistic forms of action, intent, and emotion. That's what brings an infinity to your manifestations. Because remember, if you can do it once, there's more where that came from. You are the creator of your masterpiece. And again, this is the month. July is the month. Venus is where it starts. That it all comes to you. And Virgos have huge, monumental changes coming in such a prolific, such a beautiful blessing kind of way. And it starts again with Venus and Gemini, where it's giving you the articulation through your true love language with manifesting your heart's desires. And it starts with your career path. Like I say, if that resonates, by all means, if you've got goosebumps as well right now, put a heart in the comments below. But before we go, let's also get some messages from our ancestors, from our spirit guides during this time. And so Spirit, help give us some addition. I never get to finish. I'm not whining, I promise. I always love that when that happens, though. I'm just saying. Okay, wow. Oh my gosh. 2 protector cards? Okay. I'm breathing. I'm breathing through this. So, with the dolphin, this is about swimming in the happy joy of living. Enjoy the ride. Go with the flow. I have goosebumps, but remember to inhale confidence and exhale fear. Dive into your wisdom and go with the flow during this month. Go with the flow with Venus guiding you, with your ancestors, your intuition, the divine guiding you every step of the way, because you are protected, like back to back. So with the white stag, this is your protector walking with you. Spirit wants to remind you that you are indeed an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. Because remember, you are the creator in your masterpiece. You're meant to create blessings with your magic during this time. Venus is helping us. And with the turtle, again, it's like just in case you didn't feel that way, you are protected and you have protection at this time. You are the master of finding life's flow. 2 cards about going with your creative flow and tapping into your unlimited potential, your hidden talents, your psychic abilities. This is about being in harmony with the rhythm, raising your vibration, because your path will unfold. Perseverance truly is your superpower. This is where persevering with your dedication will basically ensure your success. You have everything you need and you're protected. Now is the time to enjoy the ride and be happy. Raise that vibration. I have never gotten this in a reading before. 2 protection cards back to back, and with the dolphin, I just can't even, I'm almost stammering right now, and I'm breathing through it, I promise. But oh my goodness. So before we go as well, meditation, aligning your chakras is going to be so important during this time. And the biggest thing is your third eye. Now is the time to tap in. This is where Venus is helping you with your love language, with articulating and going after your heart's desires when it comes to your 10th house. And again, it's career, fame, reputation, getting recognition, a raise, promotion, stepping into leadership, receiving your reward, and being seen for the leadership that you are, or leadership position, I should say, that you are meant to hold in this life. So now is the time to tap in. Music medicine wise, what we pulled is A sharp and C. And then what I'm really getting about this too as well with the color therapy is, you know, we've got purple, which is our crown. We've got red, which is our root chakra. This is aligning from head to toe. And like I say, I mean, this is tearing down foundations that were never meant to serve you, because the wheel, karma, a turn for the better, good fortune is truly meant for you. And so I truly hope that this reading helps. I am sending you guys so much love and light. Take care, and I will see you in the next reading.